would probably take an average 1-2 grinder playing his A game over an average 25-50 grinder playing his C game any day.
You're listening to the Mindset Advantage podcast. Each week, you'll get to peek inside the greatest minds in the game and discover what makes them successful.
Mental toughness separates those that can't handle the stress.
If you're going to treat it like an amateur, you're probably going to have amateur results.
Here are your hosts, Elliot Rowe and Adrian Talenchik Rousum.
So welcome to the show. It's an exciting time at the poker world. We hope you all had a great time in Scoop. And we've now got Super High Roller Bowl and the World Series of Poker coming up. So great time to be a poker player, isn't it, Adrian?
Oh, definitely. It's always such an exciting time. I won't be at the World Series of Poker this year, but man, everybody who's heading out there, it's always like summer camp.
Yeah, so go have fun, kids. And good luck to the guys, friends of the show we've got in the Super High Roller Bowl. There's quite a few of them playing. We've got Fedor, Berkey, Rast. I think Daniel's been on the show, Doug Polk, and a few others. So good luck to all of you guys who've been kind enough to give us interviews. And good luck making all of that money. So Adrian, do you want to introduce our next guest?
Really excited, and to be honest, having a bit of a fangirl moment today. But we have Kevin Martin on the show. Kevin is a teammate of mine on Team Pro Online with PokerStars. But more importantly, just over a week ago, Kevin completed his mission on Big Brother Canada 5, and he defeated 15 other people to win $100,000 cash, a new car, and a $30,000 shopping spree. I watched the whole Big Brother season and some of the live streams, so I've loaded up with questions. I know you've just been through a lot, Kevin, but are you ready?
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait to talk about it. It's great to see you, Elliot and Adrian, and thank you for the love the whole time, Adrian. I know you were behind me.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it was so exciting feeling invested in somebody in the Big Brother house. I think the first thing that we should probably start off asking about is just preparation going into the house. You've been in the house before. You're going for a second chance. What does that look like to you?
Yeah, I was very, very prepared this time, and I wanted to be one of the most prepared house guests there. I just excelled at preparation. So I got the call to go back to the house only about 2 weeks before I was taken into sequester. So I hard stopped my Twitch, my YouTube channel. I didn't play any poker, and I just started preparing immediately. I worked out every single day. But more importantly, I told my assistant, I was like, can you go through every single season of Big Brother Canada and talk about every challenge, make notes, take pictures, give me descriptions? So I went through every single challenge in the Big Brother history and studied it and tried to find an optimized way to beat it. So if it was an endurance challenge, I was going to do this. If it was a mental challenge, I was going to do this. So I truly felt in terms of preparation, I was at a different level than all those other house guests. I might have struggled at certain elements of the game, but when it came to competitions and how to approach them and optimize them and defeat them, I was the best one there.
And that's phenomenal. Do you think your background in poker gave you a big advantage from that side?
Yeah, Elliot, I've been working with you for a year, and what do we always talk about? Study, 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 stay ahead of the game. And my poker game's changed because of that advice, and I feel like I was on a different level of preparation just because I put in work. I don't think the other house guests were going through past challenges and studying like I was, so it definitely gave me an advantage.
With all that preparation, did you ever have to deviate from your plan?
Yeah, a couple times for sure, because Big Brother has a lot of twists and turns, right? They changed the format. So there was a couple weeks where we had a plan in there, but they decided to change the rules. I don't know, it's kind of equivalent to maybe you could flop a flush draw and you have a plan to barrel the turn, barrel the river, but a weird kind of brick card comes out. So just like in a poker hand, I feel like you have to be adaptable. So for sure, you can prepare, but in there, we had to change our strategies and our plans a lot.
Man, and obviously, congratulations in terms of getting the
Thank
W
you.
for it.
Thank you so much.
And we were speaking just beforehand, and there's all of these thoughts about going in. When you get to you're going week, and you've got through another week, and you've got through another week, does it all become a focus on I'm going to win this, or is it getting through day by day?
No, before we talked about just getting day by day and having fun and enjoying the experience. And I truly, going in, I put myself in a mindset of, I'm going to go out first and enjoy the experience. And if I survive, that's great. And so when there were 16 people, I survived the first elimination, that was great. Then I survived another one. Then I survived another one. But I always kept the mind state that you gave me, in that winning the show was very, very difficult. You not only have to play good, you have to run very well. So I always kept my expectations very low. And thank you so much, because I've played this game before. I played in season 3, and the entire time I had an elevated view of myself. I said, I'm going to win. I'm the best one here. And it really crushed me when I went out in 9th place in season 3. So this time I had my expectations low the entire time, and somehow I scooted all the way to the victory.
And do you feel that helped you keep it on track? That idea of just it's everyday matters rather than this, this final, getting the check at the end?
Yeah, for sure. Looking at short-term goals. So I would wake up in the morning and say, what is my goal today? My goal is to talk to Bruno, discuss strategy. My goal is to make a relationship with, spend time with William. So I would very, very short-term goals. These people were planning 4 or 5 weeks in the future, and I was really going day by day, and it helped me stay grounded for sure.
One of the things I liked the most about your game, from what I saw anyway, was that you tailor-made relationships for each person in the house, yes. by my estimation. Whereas like some people go into the house having the idea that I'm just going to be friendly, but you seem to individualize. Can you talk about your relationships with the 3 I have in mind are Bruno, Karen, and William?
Oh, for sure. Well, with Bruno, we had experience. Bruno and I played in season 3 together, and we hated each other. We barely talked. We just couldn't get along. So coming back this time, on day 1, we just knew, like, we have had experience together. Even though we've had a bad past in the show, we knew that we were going to be best buddies. It was almost just a common click. It's like we're both gamers. We're going to work together at the time. So Bruno was my best ally the entire time. I never really had to work on that relationship. We just talked strategy whenever we met up because we knew exactly where we were at. With Karen, Karen's a relationship I struggled with a lot. Karen doesn't have the poker player mentality. Karen made, self-admittedly, she made bad decisions in there, just out of spite, and sometimes she wanted to take the show a different direction. She was admitting that she was making basically minus EV plays just for whatever reason. So personality, Karen and I clashed, and also on the game level, I went against her a couple times. I did so bad at that relationship. We had nothing in common. I couldn't communicate with her. That relationship, I really, really struggled at. But whenever I did try to work on that relationship, I tried to talk about her family, about her experiences. She's a very successful real estate agent, so I always tried to talk to her about that. But at the end of the day, I kind of failed on that one. We made friends the last couple of weeks of the show. And with William, I knew right away that William is very, very fun, and he likes to have a good time, and he's very flirty and almost touchy. And that was my way to communicate with him, is we'd flirt and have a good time and kind of like cuddle once in a while. And that really got to him, and it worked, because he did use the secret power veto on me to save my game at day 45. But with William, it was really, really fun, and I had a great time in there. And sometimes you don't realize the house is so stressful and so tough that when you can go and have those genuine moments for even 10 to 15 minutes of just having fun with someone and throwing pillows at them, like, it really, really helps you remain mentally calm. So that's kind of how I worked individually with those 3 people.
Talk about that from the idea of the cameras being on you the whole time. How does that feel? I mean, is that where having the experience from the other season helps a ton, or is it still incredibly stressful?
Incredibly stressful. I mean, Adrian knows, like, as Twitch streamers, we're in front of the camera a lot. But at home, we have the power to turn the camera off, and we can just go to our regular lives. We can spend time with our family or our kids, and that's okay. But in there's really no escape, especially when you're in vulnerable moments. Like, when Bruno got evicted, I couldn't stop crying. I don't know what it was. I just cared about that guy so much, and I couldn't stop crying, and I couldn't get away from the cameras. And it's so hard to know that in vulnerable moments, so many people are watching you. Yeah, it drove me crazy. I think other people struggle with more than me, because I do have experience with season 3 and with being on Twitch, being in front of the camera all the time. A lot of people struggle with it. It's so tough, and that there's no privacy.
Yeah, the no privacy and the bright lights. I watched a video that you put out about your preparation. It came out just at the end of the season, but it talked about different things you were planning to do to manage with the bright lights and all the rest. How did you go about that?
Yeah, that's another thing people don't realize is it's a studio. The lights are so bright in that house all the time, because whenever they want a camera shot, they need the people to look really good, of course. And the other thing is, like, they manage your sleep schedule very strictly. They only turn off those lights for about 4 to 5 hours a night. And by the time you went, some nights I was getting literally 3 hours of sleep. And you can see in the show as we break down mentally a couple weeks into the game because we're not sleeping. We're in this stressful environment. What I did is I did a lot of meditation. I did a lot of almost soul searching. Elliot and I do meditation all the time. Obviously, I didn't have Elliot's soundtracks in there, but I would go and sit in a corner and try to, focus on my breathing. And I would do a lot of meditation and I would do a lot of exercise as well. Try to tire myself out as much as possible so I could actually go to sleep when those precious hours of darkness came, because they were few and far between.
And were other people using meditation as well, or do you think that was another edge that you were taking over your opponents?
Yeah, no one else was using meditation at all. No, that was another small edge I had over my opponents. Again, it's Big Brother. It's tough to quantify how much of an edge that might have given me, but yeah, I think it was a small one for sure. And just staying mentally grounded. You can see in the show when people are fighting and when there's high stress situations, everyone's kind of losing their mind, and I really do stay calm and collective. I didn't do everything perfectly in there. My game is definitely subject to criticism, but during moments people are yelling at me and they're just bouncing off the walls, I really did stay chill and level-headed the entire time.
And that's one of the things that was puzzling to me, because despite appearing so likable and compassionate at times, one of the times I remember is when Karen had her fake challenge about assigning punishments for a personal reward. You came out and gave her a hug and said you had to do it, and everybody else was screaming at her, but still somehow the house guests seemed to take their frustrations out on you and socially isolate you. What factors do you think contributed to that?
I mean, the biggest factor is that I was just a threat to win the game. And in that house, when people want you out, they find personal reasons to attack you. I looked at it as a game, right? If I wanted someone out, like I wanted Dimitri's out for a long time, but I never ever slandered his character. I never thought badly about him. I think he's an awesome guy. But I'm in the minority in how I play Big Brother. Most commonly, if people want you out, they don't like you, they find personal ways to attack you. And this season was dirty. People were very, very, very mean in there. And another theme with this season is people talked about real and being fake. And it was common that, like, if you told someone off or you told them how you feel, the excuse was, I'm just being real. I'm being a real person. And I was raised differently in that, like, you have to, even if you don't like someone, your conversations and your interactions with them should be nice, and they should come from a good place. And that's not being fake at all. It's just being a nice person. But in that house, I was called fake a lot because I would be nice to everyone. And the word fake and disingenuous got used towards me a lot. And it's a shame. But, I mean, they put 16 different people in there for a reason. They're not going to put a bunch of people that get along and have similar mindsets, right? They're not going to put 16 poker players in there.
Well, that would be a nightmare, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone out leveling each other,
Yeah, everyone would be out leveling. Everyone would be talking about equity shopping and like collusion, and it would just be unbelievable.
What sort of equity considerations did you have in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the win was like $100,000 Canadian plus a car worth about $30,000 plus a $30,000 brick shopping spree. Obviously, first place had the most amount of equity. Second place is $20,000, and third place is nothing. You get a stone bubble. So the pay jumps in Big Brother are very harsh. First gets most of it, second gets a tiny piece, and then nobody else gets anything. So obviously, I had to play for the win. There's no laddering in Big Brother the entire time. It doesn't matter if you get 16th place or third place. There's no laddering in Big Brother. So I played for the win the entire time. And also, you can't really measure the equity of, like, the potential fame that you can use for opportunities after, or the recognition, especially for my Twitch channel and YouTube channel. And also just the life equity of me finally winning this show after so many years. It's truly my dream come true to win this show. You can't really measure that. So as we got down to those final numbers, with first place being such a sharp jump, I don't know if it showed on the show, but I would wake up and my social interactions with people, I didn't really have any the last couple of weeks. I would sit by myself in a room and study 4 to 5 hours a day. Plus, I would go over all the nominations, everything that happened in this house. I would create a sprinkle graph. I would color coordinate house guests, and I would put all the information in a visual design, and I would look at it for 4 to 5 hours at a time and lock it in my brain. And sure enough, I didn't get a trivia question wrong. So I understood that trivia game at that end for that final HOH versus Dimitri, basically a $150,000 trivia game, and I did not want to lose. And sure enough, I crushed him at that.
I don't know if you saw, but when he came out, it was so interesting to me because he said to Arissa, he said, I just couldn't think. I couldn't think of the answers. I had no idea. And yeah. I just thought, I was like, there is the poker player in Kevin, because we deal with these situations all the time when we're at a final table.
Absolutely. Yeah. You could see he was frazzled. He's a very intelligent guy, but in terms of like game theory and figuring out how to optimize mental challenges, he didn't he didn't have the spark that I felt like I did.
And do you think you may have changed the game moving forward? You know, people have seen the level of effort you're putting into studying the trivia. Do you think now we're going to see a Big Brother where there's 3-4 people sitting there studying all day?
Yeah, I understood the end format, and during the first weeks it's very important to be social and get along, but at the end, when it's Final Four, Final Five, all the weight of the game shifts towards these mental competitions. I've talked about it for years on podcasts. People have never understood how important these mental competitions are, and I feel like I am one of the first house guests in the North American version to kind of, I don't know, break the game. They might have to change the way those challenges are done, because I was a terrible social player at the end. I was completely isolated. From the final 8, I won the game by myself because I knew exactly what I had to do. And it made boring television. There were times that Big Brother would have conversations with me and say, like, Kevin, you're not talking to people. We're trying to make a show here. Like, I really almost, I feel like I did kind of twist the game and optimize that end format like no other house guest ever had. Because, like, Big Brother's not supposed to be like, you're supposed to go and socialize. But I stood and looked at sprinkles for 5 hours, and that literally won me the game. So I felt like I did break it a little bit.
Yeah. How long is a typical diary room session? Like, can you give us anything from behind the curtain?
Yeah, for sure. I have to be careful here. I'm definitely under contract, but I mean, you're in there for sometimes 15 minutes if there's a simple question. If you're having a busy week, let's say you're a have-not, you get nominated, and you're lying to a lot of people to have you in for 2 hours, asking you a lot of questions. And as you get down to numbers, obviously, there's less people to talk to. So as you get to the Final Four and Final Three, we're in there all the time because the show is literally based around those final couple people.
Are you ever concerned that there's other strategic stuff going on when you're isolated in a diary room session?
Absolutely, for sure. But you can't really control that, right? People are going to have conversations, especially at the start when there's so many people. You can't completely be aware of exactly everything that's going on. And I find in Big Brother, in the early couple of weeks, if you try to micromanage people, it actually turns them off. And I think that's kind of what happened to Netta. Netta was a strategist who, if she laid a little more under the radar, I think she would have had more success. Very typical, just like basically the first couple of weeks of the game, I just wanted to sit down and kick my feet up and not be on anyone's radar. And I did that pretty successfully. I really played an under the radar game for the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like just the amount of strategy, the amount of thought you've put into Big Brother over the years just seems pretty extreme.
Yeah, it was a little obsession for sure. And that's why losing my first season hurt so bad, because I knew I was so much more capable. And yeah, again, I'm not a perfect player. I won't go down as like one of the greats, but I am going to be known as a guy who fought against all the odds. And I feel like I really expect them to change those challenges at the end. It was funny. Yeah, I just so happy. I'm still over the moon, Elliot, about everything.
Oh man, it's phenomenal.
While in the house, what was the biggest mental or strategic hurdle that you had to overcome?
Oh, what was the biggest mental or strategical hurdle that I had to overcome? I mean, the sleep deprivation was just devastating. It's really, really crippling, and that really hurt me specifically. But the biggest hurdle was there's some good players in there, right? There were some really good players. Ika and Dimitri were just absolute beasts. Dimitri in the competitions, and Ika, well, she was kind of crazy at moments. Her ability to get someone and convince them to do something specific was amazing. There were so many good players in there. It was a really, really awesome and a really tough season.
You get the phone call this week and they say, Kevin, we loved you so much in Big Brother. We're desperate to have you on the next season. How do you respond to that?
I don't know. Elliot, I think there's just more opportunity for me in Twitch in the poker world now. My story arc is complete, right? I'm done. It's wrapped. I won. I don't have anything left to prove. I don't know. Depends. It's a coin flip. I kind of want to go back to Twitch, and I think the opportunity there is massive right now, and I'm missing poker so much. And I could go back and I could win again, I guess, but I think there's more opportunity for me to do in other things right now.
Is there anything that you learned in the Big Brother house that you think will make you a better poker player?
I don't know. Maybe just how hard my mental toughness was tested. I think I've never played a poker tournament where I went through that much mental exertion. Big Brother, you can't really compare. So I think it was just a good training ground for my mental fortitude once again. But in terms of anything from game theory or anything related, no, I don't really think so. I pushed harder and I fought harder mentally and physically in Big Brother than I've done in anything else in my entire life. So if I can bring that study, that fight power to the poker world, I think we can do amazing things.
And sort of heading back to poker now, we've had quite a while off. It's a number of weeks in the house. What are you looking to do to get your game back on track? Are you going to be starting at different stakes? Are you going to be starting with less tables? Like, have you worked out a process of making sure you're coming back on form again?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm just going to hit the study books really, really hard. Only play 3 or 4 tables at a one time, really go through all my decisions and make sure that I'm at a good level. I want to book a lot of coaching right away to make sure that my thought process is still all right. It's kind of funny, a side note. So in moments in the house, I don't know, again, if it showed this on the show or whatever, but during those times of isolation, it was so hard. I would actually sit by myself and go over like opening ranges in my head and like, okay, I'm opening 12% from early position. I'm opening ace-5 suited from this spot. And I would go through 3-betting ranges, and just thinking about poker made me feel like a human again, and reminded me of, it made me feel so good. So that was definitely a mental way to cope, is just to think about poker and how consistent and how amazing that game is.
Because in the house, they deprive you of a lot of things, right? You don't get pens or pencils or papers, cards. Do you get cards ever?
No, no cards at all. Strictly
not even on your HOH?
No, you can't even bring them in. Funny story, Adrian, not this season, but the last time I played, I took 52 pieces of paper towel, and I took mustard, and I took a knife, and I made these beautiful playing cards out of mustard and paper towel. We were playing Go Fish for because no one knew how to play poker, so we had to play Go Fish. We played Go Fish for about 30 minutes, and then production actually called us, and they banned the cards and took them away from us.
That must have been heartbreaking.
I spent like 3 hours on those things.
They wanted to patent the design.
Yeah. Nothing's allowed in there at all.
And how does this change things? Obviously you're a PokerStars pro. They must be unbelievably happy. They've got you as a former Big Brother contestant, and now you're a Big Brother winner. I mean, what sort of reaction have you had from them?
They're so happy. PokerStars has been so wonderful. Even before I went, my calls with them, they're so accommodating. They've been honestly the best sponsor ever, and they're excited for me to get back and to see what I can achieve. But I can't say enough kind things about them. They've been so nice. When
do you expect to be back to active playing or actively on Twitch?
So I'm going on a vacation. I'm going to go sit on a beach somewhere and drink a lot of alcohol and enjoy some time with close friends. Because I don't know, has there been a book or something written about the psychological effects of Big Brother? I think they're pretty massive. I was in an environment for 3 months where you can't trust anyone. Every time someone says something to you, you have to process it and say, what is their incentive? Like, I don't think that's healthy for humans to be in that environment. It's funny. I'm about 60 days into the game. I'm just mentally beat down. These people don't like me. I can't stand them. I'm isolated. They actually sent a camera crew in to do some shooting one day. And whenever there was a camera guy in the house, they would wear a ski mask, right? They would wear a black ski mask so you can't see their face. Because that's how badly they don't want you to see other people. There was one camera guy who, for whatever reason, wasn't wearing his ski mask. So it was the first face I had seen in 3 months that is not incentivized to get me out of this house. I literally went up to him and gave him a big bear hug and almost broke into tears. I'm just like, thank you for being a human that doesn't want to hurt me right now. Like, it's the psychological effects of Big Brother. I would love to learn more about it, but I'm sorry. Your question was, when am I getting back to Twitch? I'm going on this vacation. I'm going to have a blast and let this all sink in, and then probably mid to the end of June. And I also want to get out to the WSOP and play the main this year. Jason Somerville and a bunch of his team are out there, so I might go hang out with them, and I can't wait to hit it hard.
I mean, I know my question was about Twitch, but I'm actually way more interested in the psychological effects of being lied to all the time and all the rest. It seems, hard to imagine as a viewer.
Yeah, I went out for dinner the other day to go sushi, and the lady is like, "Hey, you should try our new tempura. Like, it's on sale for $13." And I just had to think for a second. Is this person want to sell me tempura? What is her motive? I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not in Big Brother right now. Like, of course, she's just trying to sell me. It's weird. The transition's okay though. Obviously, the fact that I won, it makes it a lot easier. But I know a lot of the other house guests are they struggle with it. It's a weird, unique thing to only be lied to and to lie to other people for 3 months and then snap back into real life in the matter of only a couple of days.
And what's the response from the general public been like in Canada?
Oh, it's awesome. They're phenomenal. Everyone's so happy. Yeah, it's been crazy. I walk down the street, people stop me. I go to the mall, I can't move. People just line up for pictures. It's like, it's going to fade, of course. The reality TV fame is very, very quick. I'm at a high right now, and it will fade, especially as the next season comes out. But for the moment, I'm just going to enjoy it. Everyone's been so kind.
I mean, it sounds pretty amazing, and having definitely the high of the win has to be just a complete polarization of your last result.
Yeah, absolutely. When Dimitri and I stood up there, I don't know if Elliot saw the finale, but Adrian did. When we're standing there and we have to answer the final trivia questions, I know that I'm going to cut Dimitri. Dimitri knows that he's going to cut me. We're playing for first, which is $150,000 net worth, and 0 for third, plus the equity of being the winner, the recognition, all that. I felt like net-wise, it was almost like $350,000 I was answering these questions for, and it was just the highest pressure situation I've ever been in. So to go 5 for 5 and win in a convincing fashion, the best moment of my life, it really was.
We were talking briefly last night, and you mentioned to me that you weren't going to watch the show yet. And I joked and said, maybe you should watch it with your grandchildren. And you said that would be too soon. Now, as a single guy who's got no kids, tell me about why that's too soon.
It was just weird. I saw clips and stuff. I went to a couple of the highlights, like that triple eviction where I won the veto to save myself. I watched that and it gave me chills and stuff. But overall, it's just weird to watch yourself. And not only watch yourself, you watch yourself as a character. You're edited in a specific way to tell a story. You're there to make a TV show, right? You're like, it's me on the screen, but it's really not me. It's me saying stuff in the diary room, but it's really not 100% authentic me. So it's weird. It's just a weird kind of feeling. And so yeah, I'm just going to let it sit on the shelf, and I'm sure I'll get the urge to watch it sometime soon, but I'm on too much of a high to go through all 30 episodes right now.
And with the way they edit it, does that create any paranoia, like a concern that they can almost make anyone look however they like? Is that something you worry about before you go in, or is that something that...
Terrifying. Yeah, terrifying. The first time I played, I was on the good, amazing side of the edit. In season 3, I was kind of a buffoon making mistakes and stuff, but they showed me as a really intelligent, well put together person. And that's a reason that I got asked back to play a second time. This time, I'm not sure what the edit is like. I've heard good things, I've heard bad things, but yeah, you really go in there and you're very vulnerable to the edit. At the same time, they can only really show what you do give them. So the edit can sway things, but if you're running around saying nonsensical things, they're going to use that against you. So I do understand the edit can sway things, but it is the responsibility of the house guests to make sure kind of how they are presented. But they're going to find their villain, they're going to find their heroes, they're going to find their stereo archetypes that are going to propel the show along.
Is there anybody in the show that you've heard, even through talking to other house guests, that maybe have watched the show back, who got the worst edit?
I think Netta. I'm talking to Netta a lot. Netta had just a terrible edit from what I'm hearing. Also, I mean, she did give them some material to make her. She was shaped as the villain, right? She was a highly strategical player. She was shaped as the villain. It's someone would say something like, "You don't know who the villain is this season," and then they would cut to Netta rolling her eyes. Like, they can blatantly kind of tell the story how they want, Oh yeah, for sure. But so I think Netta's having a tough time with the edit. She's such a good, sharp player and just a wonderful human, which is really, really too bad.
And from that side of things, do you think that there's going to be a change in the way people view what a strategic player is? So, you were saying that she was trying to manipulate people, whereas your strategy at the beginning was hiding effectively and then absolutely dominating the challenges. Do you think that's going to that's what a strategic player becomes now, sort of a change in the way the game is viewed?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a new strategy. Hiding in the beginning of Big Brother is very, very, very common. If you're announcing yourself as a player at the final 16, final 15, final 14, again, I was looking up stats before I went, and it's something like, if you're nominated in the first couple weeks, your chance of winning they just drop. Your equity in the show drops so hard if you're nominated the first couple weeks. But so yeah, my strategy was blatant: hide in the beginning, dominate in the end. And other people have attempted to do it. I just don't think people have done it in such a harsh and volatile way that I did it.
How quickly did you start playing the game? Because people will accuse other people of not actually playing, but others will say that even existing is playing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's just stupid. You're not playing the game. What are you talking about? I'm under the radar. Like, that's the perfect way to play the game for the first half. A lot of people are trying to discredit the win because, I didn't go guns blazing from day one. If you go guns blazing from day one, it's like the first level of a poker tournament, right? Pre-ante. We're not opening 5-7 offsuit from early position. We're just playing the game in the fact that we're playing correct strategy. So I was playing the Big Brother game by playing correct strategy. I'm not opening 2-3 suited from under the gun. Give me a break.
And there you go. They've invited a poker player, and he's broken the show.
What show? Do you have any other reality shows that you're particularly fond of that you would like to pursue?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think the Big Brother story is closed, but if Amazing Race, if an opportunity ever comes up there, that is strictly challenges. Running from challenge to challenge, trying to optimize these challenges would just be a thrill. So my hat is in the book. You know, if I'm still single in 5-6 years, let's go on The Bachelor, I guess, try that one out. But, I mean, Amazing Race would be the best one ever.
Man,
Yeah.
there you go. You've given them your pitch, Will.
Yeah, Amazing Race would be incredible.
When you do get back to Twitch, how hard do you think your mods are going to have to work keeping the chat in line? Pretty good. I had an awesome social media team on the way too. And that's another thing for the preparation is in Big Brother, it's common that Canada can vote. Canada can have a sway in how the game goes. So before I left, I set up a social media team. I hired this wonderful lady named Sue from Australia full time to run my social media in an effective way. So if that situation ever did come up where I needed to vote for safety or I needed to vote for a certain power, that my social media could potentially sway that. So, oh my God, I feel like I was really, really prepared. So yeah, when I get back, my mod team is going to have to do some excellent work. I can't wait for that first stream back. There'll be all the sub-trains and all the questions about William.
Yeah, a lot of William questions. A lot of William questions. That was unique because in Big Brother, there's never been a gay showmance or a gay flirtmance before, and that was also kind of a interesting first thing that happened.
Man, and when it comes to going back on Twitch again, is it going to be a lot of adrenaline, or is it just going to be exciting? Is it going to be sort of a fear of like, what is this going to look like today, or are you just going to be excited about getting out there and doing it? Again?
Pure excitement. I've popped into a couple of channels, and I was in Tonka's channel for a little bit, and people just lose their mind. They're so happy. I can't wait. It's just pure excitement. No fear.
Awesome.
What's left to be afraid of?
Yeah, exactly. I was just in front of cameras for 3 months. Twitch is a walk in the park now after that.
Yeah, you can move your head and you can't be seen. It's wonderful.
Yeah, literally.
24-hour streams starting up in no time?
Yeah. No, we'll take it slow, but I can't wait to get back.
Awesome, man. And when does the holiday start? When are you heading off?
I'm taking off. I haven't booked it. I'm taking off this Monday. I'm just going to go for like 8 days. I've never actually booked a vacation before in my life. I've gone places for work, but like pure vacation, beach, all-inclusive, I've never done that. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, man, it's going to be wonderful.
It's going to be brilliant.
And where can people find you? Where is the Twitch? Where can they find you on Twitter? All of those different bits and pieces.
Yeah, if you want to come follow my journey, I mean, winning Big Brother Canada is the craziest thing that's ever happened in my life. But I'm not going to stop striving. There's other things we want to achieve. I just don't think I've peaked in any way, especially even after this amazing experience. So come check me out on Twitch. Just Google Kevin Martin Poker Twitch. You'll see my Twitter there, Kevin Martin Poker. You'll see my Twitter, my Instagram. You can even hit me up on Snapchat. I'm all over the place. Use that Google function to find me.
Man, just so awesome of you to come on the show and give us this first take on the experience, and just really great.
We're barely a week out.
Yeah. I feel very important, Kevin.
I've always felt very important. 1 week ago today, I woke up in that spaceship in the Big Brother Canada house, and then so it was 1 week ago that I won. It's all very, very fresh. And again, Elliot, thank you so much for the work that you did before with me and putting me in that right mindset and keeping me calm during the whole experience.
There we go.
It really helped.
Yeah, we've got Olympians, poker player winners, and now I've got a Big Brother winner working with me as well. So
you have a reality TV winner working
exactly.
with you.
It's going to be my new business.
Yeah.
There's no end in sight.
Brilliant.
Well, man, honestly, congratulations. Go and enjoy it and enjoy the rest. And we can't wait to see what you do back at those poker tables.
I can't wait either. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Adrian, for the love the entire season. I felt the good vibes in there.
Yeah, easy. It was easy.
Awesome, man. We'll catch you soon.
Cheers. Love you guys. Bye.
Take good care.
Awesome to have Kevin on the show so soon after his win.
Oh, it was so great watching the season. Like, I'm a big fan of the strategy and the poker playing element of these reality TV shows. People sometimes kind of laugh at them because they're so dramatic and all the rest. But I love when you break down the show to its fundamentals, that as a poker player, you have such an advantage.
I mean, I think the way Kevin described it, he's broken the game, hasn't he? I mean, everyone's going to sit in silence for the first 3 weeks and do their homework. Okay, the next Big Brother season could be a bit different to watch.
I could just imagine their diary room sessions. You know, obviously I don't know what goes on, but I've heard things like on the show Survivor, I've heard that tribal council at the end can sometimes go on for hours and hours. And the host is just so able to break them and make them say things they don't want to do. So I'm sure their diary room sessions are pretty intense as well.
Yeah, so all of that mental stability helping and all of that experience on final tables, that performing under pressure, which, you know, most people don't have that in life. So it's a brand new experience. But obviously Kevin's been there, done it before, and he's made it happen on a big stage.
Yeah, well, you can add facilitating another 6-figure score to your resume.
Yeah, I try. So Talent, where can everyone check you out?
I'm going to be away a little bit next week, but definitely follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/talentchick. And very, very soon, I'll be back to the Twitch streets, twitch.com/talentchick.
Awesome.
Twitch.tv/talentchick, actually.
Get it right. And,
pro streamer.
Yeah. And we'll have the link on this page as well for Talon there. And also check out my website, pokermindcoachacademy.com, to get webinars and MP3s and all sorts of good stuff to help your poker games. So we shall talk to you soon.
Take good care.
You've been listening to the Mindset Advantage podcast. To get future episodes delivered to you automatically, make sure to subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcasting service. To get any resources mentioned in the episode or to listen to past shows, visit pokermindcoach.com/TMA podcast. Thanks for listening.